Hi, it's Len Cameraman from Hero Technical Solutions. Thanks for joining me for this week's Friday 5. This week's question is from Frank from Service Master in Brampton. Frank's question is this. My question is on creating reports to track calls made, meetings scheduled, etc. Okay, now ACT has a great notes and history report if you want to see individual details of notes and history that you've put in. But if you're looking for statistics by history type, such as how many calls were made, how many meetings were scheduled, there is a report that can do that as well. However, it may take some minor modification to do that. So I'll show you the report that exists and the changes that we need to make in order to make it usable to track how many meetings are scheduled. All right, so let's jump into ACT. Now, the first thing that I need to do is make sure that I can record history that indicates that I have scheduled a meeting. A report would be tough to create that would track calls made, because that's history, as well as meetings scheduled by looking at the tasks. But if we put in history for each call that we make and each meeting that we schedule, it's easy to do with an existing report. So in order to do this, I'm going to add a custom activity type to my database. So I'm going to the Schedule menu, going to Manage, and then to Activity Types. And now the ACT demo database that I'm in already has a custom activity type called marketing call. You can add a custom activity type to your own database in the same way by clicking on the add button. And then when you do that, you're going to see a number of result options. And it's really important that you give these result names, names that specifically identify them. So if you put in marketing call, by default it'll say completed or not completed. You want to make sure it says marketing call completed, marketing call not completed. And I've added in meeting scheduled. When I put in a history of type marketing call, a result can be meeting scheduled, and then I'm able to track that. Okay, once I have that history type in, then I can go and record a history, okay, by going to the contact. I'm going to use Ed as an example. Go to my history, and that type is going to be marketing call, and then the result, meeting scheduled. Okay, if I see that in the list, I've added a few for him already. Now I've got that in my history, and now I can use a report to track that. So let's go to the reports list, and you'll see that there is a history summary classic report. Let's run this quickly to see what it does out of the box. Okay, we'll run it for all contacts. We're going to run it for history from all users. We'll run it for the current month. Okay, and what it does is it tracks, once we zoom out, it tracks the number of attempted calls, completed calls, meetings held, and letters sent within that time frame. Now, if you don't want those 4 tracked, you can change those, and that's what we're going to do to be able to track meetings scheduled. So I'm going to close this, then I'm going to make a copy of this report and edit it. So I'm going to the Reports menu, down to Edit Template, and then choose the History Summary Classic report, right-click it, choose Copy, right-click and choose Paste, and then you can rename this to something appropriate. Okay, such as History Classic Copy for MTG Scheduled, something to that effect. Click on it to choose it, click Open, and then 2 things to do here. One is, let's change that heading. I don't want to track meetings held, I want to track meetings scheduled. Okay, so I'll bring that up a little. And here's the technical part that all you need to do is follow along though. Double click this sub-report histories and then find this details section. Drag it down, right click and choose edit report scripts. Don't pay any attention to what any of this says except find the result you want to change. So instead of meeting held, we want to track meeting scheduled, and then click OK, close that details section back up, go back to your main report. Okay, we're going to save that. Okay, now we're going to run it. File menu, run. All contacts, current month, click OK. And if you look at the report, zoom in just a touch, you should now see Ed Connor meeting scheduled 3, and you'll see that that totals up as well at the bottom. All right, so that will allow you to get stats for up to 4 different history types for a given time frame. And again, if I wanted to see this for a particular user, I would simply choose that option when I run the report. Let's close this down. I also want to make sure that you'll see that this will show up in your reports list. Double click it to run. And if you want to run this for a specific user, just change this to selected users and choose the user you want.